So in 8th grade, this kid had a crazy gaming setup at home, and he had the nicest stuff. He had a bunch of fancy controllers, fancy headsets, everything. Well, one day he brought one of his super nice Xbox controllers to school to fidget with. At lunch, his friend saw it and was like, "Hey, yo, let me borrow that for the weekend." "Nah, man, I kinda need it." But his friend pulled out $5 and said, "Hey, come on, just for 2 days, I'll pay you." So he took the money, and Monday, his friend returned the controller and said, "Bro, I would definitely rent this from you again." That's when his idea sparked. He started bringing all of his extra controllers from home to school, charging kids $5 for the weekend or $10 for the whole week. Then kids started asking him if he had any extra headsets, so he started bringing all of his nice headsets to school. By the next month, he was running a full-blown rental service. Controllers, headsets, even an extra keyboard. These kids were paying just to use the better gear at their house. He was making $40 to $50 a week just by doing this. But then one day, one kid lost one of his controllers, and instead of paying for it, he snitched to a teacher. The principal then shut down the whole thing. But in total, this kid made over $1,500. You gotta respect the hustle. "Hey, you're the guy selling the dresser, right?" "Yes, sir, 40 bucks and it's yours." This guy was scrolling through Craigslist, looking for some cheap furniture, when he found a solid wooden dresser that he really liked. He meets up with the seller, pays him, and hauls the dresser home. Everything seems totally normal, until he opened up the first drawer. "What the heck is this?" And inside that drawer was a Ziploc bag full of teeth. Human teeth. And not just like a couple of teeth. We're talking dozens. Different sizes, shapes, colors, some old and yellow, others perfectly white. "What is this?" He immediately calls the seller. "Hey, yeah, hi, so what's in this dresser?" "Oh, you found the teeth, huh?" "Yes, I found the teeth. Why are there teeth in this dresser that you sold me?" "Listen, man, my grandpa was a dentist and those are his collection, okay? A collection of human teeth." "Okay, so why are they in the dresser?" "Oh, that's just where he kept them." "Okay, but why are there so many of them, dude? This is kind of crazy." "I don't know, bro. He was really passionate about teeth, okay? Now I got a Caesar salad and Love Is Blind to watch. Can I go?" "Yeah, okay, bye." So this guy did what any normal person would do. He kept the teeth. Why? Well, just in case that guy's grandpa was a serial murderer. This kid got blamed for something he didn't do. This one day at this one high school, during their free period, a kid was eating lunch outside by the football field, while a couple of students were kicking and throwing around a football. This kid, let's call him Steven, was sitting nearby. He wasn't playing, he was just eating his lunch. Suddenly, "Go long!" Crash. One of the football players accidentally threw the football at the school window and it shattered. A teacher comes sprinting out of the building. "Hey yo, who threw that?" Everyone's frozen. Then one kid pointed to Steven. "It was him. He kicked it." "What? I wasn't even playing." But the teacher was already on the walkie-talkie. "We got a broken window. Student responsible has been identified." Come with me. Steven is dragged to the office. They pull up security footage, but the camera angle cuts off right before the area where Steven was eating and they were playing, so it was useless. So, they just take the other kid's word for it. Steven gets 2 days of in-school suspension, and he has to pay $147 to fix the window. And the worst part? 2 weeks later, the kid that blamed him brags about it in the locker room. "Yeah, I just didn't want to get in trouble and Steven was sitting there anyway. It was perfect." One kid heard it, went to the office to tell the principal. You'd think they would apologize, right? Nope. They just said, "Yeah, well, the case has already been handled. It's done, so nothing to do about it now. But thanks for letting me know, man." And that's the dumbest reason I've seen anybody get into trouble ever. Justice for Steven, man. That ain't right. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this kid was in middle school, he ran a study guide business. And these weren't your run-of-the-mill study guides. These were well-detailed, easy-to-cover documents that covered every single major test and quiz for the whole school. He had a group of students working for him. They were called the contributors. They would help him write and construct these study guides. He sold these study guides for $10 to $20 depending on the test. He also hired some of the bigger kids in school to be the muscle. The muscle kept the blacklisted kids from playing any playground games, like basketball or soccer. Kids could be blacklisted for a number of reasons, like borrowing a study guide and never paying back what's due, or for lending a study guide to any non-paying individual. This dude sent me screenshots of the documents he actually used. This is the terms and conditions that came with every single study guide. Pause if you want to read. This is the blacklist Excel sheet. He even had an employment contract for every single one of his employees. He was very efficient. He made about $100 a week, and $600 a week for the bigger tests. And all I can say is for middle school, this is one hell of a business. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one is absolutely insane. So this kid in middle school ran a revenge business. He wouldn't hurt anybody at all. That wasn't part of his business. But anything aside from that had a price. He carried a notebook around with suggestions of things he could do for revenge. If somebody wanted to get revenge on a classmate or something, they would come, look at his notebook, see what they can afford, and then hire him to perform that revenge plot. If somebody wanted to get the ultimate revenge, they would pay him for the ultimate package. And this is what it is. This kid would get a garbage can, fill it with milk, eggs, meat, and roadkill that he would find on the side of the road. Would then put the lid on it and keep it out in his backyard in the heat until it started to rot. Then he would bring this garbage can to the person that he was hired to get revenge on. He would take the lid off, lean the garbage can against the door, knock on the door, and run away. Now when someone in the house opened the door to answer it, that garbage can would fall in and spill everything everywhere, causing a rotten, disgusting, smelly mess. He told me he was never caught. He never got in trouble. And he made over $700. What would you do for a shamrock shake? Well, this dude went to great lengths. He was sitting in English class one day. His English class was on the first floor of the building. As he was sitting there, he realized, today's the last day of the year for shamrock shakes. He had to do something. He didn't want to wait till after school because they could be all gone by then, or they could stop selling them early. But he had to get his hands on one last shamrock shake, so he waited until his teacher's back was towards them. He then quietly opened the classroom window and jumped out. He ran to where his bike was locked up. And he biked all the way to McDonald's. Shamrock, shamrock. He got there, he went in, he ordered 1 shamrock shake, please. And they gave it to him. Fresh, green shamrock shake. He biked back to school with his shamrock shake, locked his bike up, climbed back through the window, and sat down in his desk. Well, obviously the teacher saw him climb back in with the shake, and he was given a detention. But he said it was absolutely worth it. Okay, this is hilarious. My follower sent me this story. She said that one day she was at her boyfriend's house when she had to go poop very bad. I have to go to the bathroom. Well, the bathroom is right next to her boyfriend's bedroom, so she figured she'd have to be quiet, otherwise he would know she was pooping. So she goes in there and sits down. What is that? She sees that the bathtub is full of water, so she asks her boyfriend, hey, so the bathtub's full of water. Is someone taking a bath or something, or am I still good to go in there? He responds, yeah, my sister's really pregnant and she's gonna give birth at home, and that bathtub is for the water birth. Oh, okay. Obviously that's kind of weird, but she goes to the bathroom anyway, and she starts pooping. And mid-push, the door bursts open. Oh, it's coming! The baby's coming! Talk about embarrassing. He was 11 years old and he built the best sandcastle of all time. Yes, it's beautiful. It had walls, tower, a drawbridge. There was seaweed that was decorating it. It was pure art. Well, once he finished, he stepped back to admire it. And here comes this menacing teenager. Nice sandcastle, loser. And just kicks the crap out of it. Sandcastle completely destroyed. Yo, what the heck? The teenager left. This kid was upset, but he decided to take action. So he rebuilt, bigger, stronger. And this time, he buried the heaviest, pointiest rock right in the middle of the sandcastle. Covered it perfectly. You wouldn't be able to tell it was there at all. And now this sandcastle looked even better than the first one. It's perfect. But as he suspected, the menacing teenager came by again. Oh, so you're just gonna rebuild it and think I wasn't gonna come back? The teenager pulled his leg back, he's getting ready, and he just kicks it. Remember the rock the kid buried in there? Yeah! Destroyed this kid's foot. Oops, shouldn't have kicked it, man. The kid limped away, crying to his mom. Some people gotta learn the hard way. Hey, awesome. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But This kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey, Johnny, come on, man! This is Team Huddle! Give me your phone right now! Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just gonna get a lecture. Fine. Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking. He's almost crying. Coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass. Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid. Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light, and he flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department. Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay? From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice. Dude, that coach is kinda awesome. They're going on a family trip, and their flight is at 5 in the morning. That's so early, Dad. It's just for 3 days. Pack your backpack. You'll be fine. Backpack. He nods. He packs his backpack. His parents don't check it. They assume he's got it. We'll fast forward to the next morning. They're standing in the security line. Shoes off, laptops out. The dad's stressing. I'm stressing. The kid steps up to put his backpack in the conveyor belt, and he tells the security guy, there's a surprise in there. The guy's like, excuse me? There's a surprise in there for everybody. Hey, yo, what? At this point, the security guard's like, yo, what the heck does this kid have in his backpack? They pull the kid to the side, they pull the backpack away. The mom is like, oh my God, what did you pack in there? You'll see. Security guard unzips the backpack. His face changes. Son, what did you pack? You, come here, okay? What the heck is this? Inside the backpack was dozens and dozens of rubber duckies. Tiny, bright yellow, each one wearing a different outfit. Sir, ma'am, your child packed about 200 rubber ducks. You can have one. So can your friend. Everybody can have one. Everybody around starts laughing, and the kid passes out these rubber duckies to as many people as he can. And honestly, that is super wholesome. This math teacher was a total freaking nightmare. She required every student to have a specific scientific calculator in her class. The calculator cost $100, but if you forgot yours, too bad. She wouldn't lend you one, and you were not allowed to share or borrow off of anybody else's when you were in the classroom. Well, one Saturday, a junior named Marcus was biking in his neighborhood when he spots a massive garage sale. Oh, that looks sick. He goes up and takes a closer look, and he finds an absolute gold mine. This, tech hoarder was selling a box of 15 perfect condition graphing calculators for $1 each. Well, Marcus didn't even blink. He bought all of them. I'm gonna buy all of them. He dropped $15, took everything home, and he realized he was sitting on over $1,000 of technology. Well, the next Monday, he brought these to school to start a little business. He would stand right outside of that rude teacher's classroom door. It would be 5 minutes before the bell, and he would rent them out to students that didn't have these calculators. Hey, psst, you need one? I know she's tough. $5 to rent for the class period. Oh my God, thank you so much. There's a test today. I was gonna fail it. I got you, dog. After a while, word spread, and people would just message him like, hey, got any calculators today? I need one for the class. Yeah, I got a few left. I'll meet you by the bathroom in 10. The teacher eventually said that students could no longer rent these calculators, but that rule never really stuck because at that point, she's just using any excuse to fail students. This kid retired at the end of the year, and he sold those calculators to people that would buy them for half the price. But he swears he saved a lot of people's grades that year, and that is respect. Sometimes teachers suck. The person that shared this story said that when she was in high school, she was one of the best art students in the school. Well, one of the assignments was that they had to design something on the computer and email it to the teacher. Well, one day in a different class, she was called down to the office. Kayla Anderson, please come to the principal's office. In the office was her principal, Kayla, have a seat, and her art teacher.
Hi, Kayla. Hi, what's going on? Well, I got your homework that you emailed, the graphic design project. Something was off, so I ran it in a reverse Google search.
Yes, and don't even try to deny this. We caught you red-handed.
What? That's impossible. I made that myself.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. Well, how come I found it on a random artist website? What is the website? Not like it matters. Read me the website. Okay, whatever. You plagiarized your project from KaylaJohnsonArt.com. Yeah, that's my website, you...
Dumbest things people got in trouble for at school. In middle school, this kid's grandma had just passed away, and it was his first day back after the funeral. This is kind of what happened. Did everyone turn their homework in? I only count 17. And there's 20 of us, so who didn't turn their homework in? I didn't. And why didn't you turn it in, Kyle? Did you even do it? You should know this. My grandma just died and I was at her funeral over the weekend. I'm sorry, but I wasn't thinking about homework. Well, that's a shame, Kyle. I'm giving you a 0 for the entire week. Are you dead, Kyle? No. Homework is more important than funerals, as long as you're alive. Well, that pissed him off, and he lost his mind. You are an absolute... My grandma just died. She was my favorite person in the entire world, and I was at her funeral over the weekend, and now you're punishing me for not doing some stupid math assignment? Screw you! I wish you died instead of my grandma. That's it! Go to the office right now. Good heavens. He explained what happened to school administration, but nobody cared. He was suspended for a week. This high school made a huge mistake. All of the boys' bathrooms at this one high school were shut down by the school because somebody was stealing toilet paper. So they closed down the bathrooms until the person who was stealing toilet paper turned themselves in. Well, that's not fair to the other students. For about a week, the boys' bathrooms were closed, and the boys were getting very upset by it. How can they lock the bathrooms? That's super unfair to us. What if I had to poop? I have to poop right now. Me too, I can't take this anymore. I've been holding it in every single day. It can't be good for me. Boys, I have an idea. Everyone here holding your poops. After lunch, at exactly 1:15 p.m., stand on your desks and take a dump right there. If we all do it, we can't get in trouble. Spread the word. The second the clock hit 1:15, this is what happened. A total of 25 dudes pooped on their desks in the middle of class. The teachers were horrified. They tried to get them in trouble, but they could do nothing about it because the bathrooms were locked down. The school actually got into huge trouble for denying people bathroom privileges, and the poop incident went down in history. The dumbest reasons people got in trouble at work. This guy was chilling at home when he got a call from a manager of a company. Hello? Oh, hello, Greg. He answers. Well, Greg, you didn't show up for work today, and honestly, I have had enough of your bullcrap. You are a disgrace to the Comcast company. You're ignorant, you're selfish, you're incredibly selfish, you waste all of our time. Your mother would be so disappointed in you, Greg. You can be quiet. What do you have to say for yourself? The call went on for a while, but the thing was, my name isn't Greg, and I definitely don't work at Comcast. I actually just started at Dairy Queen last week, so... But good luck to Greg, huh? Sounds like he's in big trouble. Okay, bye. God darn it. Can somebody get me Greg's phone number? I don't think I have it, but why don't you just ask him what his number is? He's sitting at his desk. Wait, he's here today? Yeah, it's his birthday today. He brought everyone donuts. I had like 3. Shit. Have you ever caught a stranger in your house? Well, here's the story. This girl said that her friend Jenna had just moved into a very nice condo, and she finally got to check out her friend's new place. When she arrived at her friend's new condo, her friend was still at work. So her friend told her, yeah, I'll be off soon, just let yourself in. There's a key under the plant out front. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, see you soon. So she let herself into her friend's condo and decided to make herself a sandwich. So she's eating her sandwich, walking around, checking out all the nice stuff her friend has, when all of a sudden the front door opened and a large man with a duffel bag walks in. Oh, wait! She threw the sandwich at him and locked herself in the bedroom. She's in there scared. She's shaking. The man's banging on the door. Get out of the room right now! Get out! No, you get out! I'm gonna call the police! You're gonna call the police? I'm gonna call the police! That's when she thought something was off. Why would he call the police? She then looks around and realizes the bedroom definitely seems to be that of a man's bedroom. She then asks him through the door, "Do you know who Jenna is?" "Yeah, she's my next door neighbor." Turns out this guy also kept a spare key under the potted plant out front. What a crazy situation. I hate going to the dentist. And if I was this person, I would throw up from embarrassment. Alright, so the person that shared the story. She said it was the first time seeing her new dentist. He was working on her teeth, and he says something like, "You're doing great. I know it's always weird having a stranger work on your teeth for the first time, but you're doing great." To which she responds, "Oh, you're not a stranger. You've been inside my mouth for 20 minutes now." His face got so red and he was immediately embarrassed, and she was mortified. What did she say? Why did she say that? She did not intend to make a raunchy joke like that. Well, her dentist remained professional, finished the appointment, and she left. A couple months passed, and now it was time for her second appointment with this dentist, and she told herself that she was going to be on her best behavior. She wasn't even gonna say a word to him. She's in the dentist chair, he's working on her teeth, and all of a sudden he gets very uncomfortable and red in the face. And she's like, what did I do? I didn't even say anything. Well, turns out her dentist was wearing flavored gloves, and she had been absent-mindedly licking his fingers the entire time, and she didn't even know it. After that, she never went to that dentist ever again. This is what happens when you get locked in the school bathroom. So he asks to go to the bathroom. He walks down the empty hallway, pushes the bathroom door open, and does his business. But when he's ready to leave, what the heck? The door won't budge. It's like somebody locked it from the outside. He's pushing, pulling, nothing. He checks his phone. Crap, there's no signal in here. Now at this point, he's already been gone 8 minutes. So I guess he does the only logical thing. He looks at the ceiling. Crap. He steps on the sink, he pushes open the ceiling tile, and he army crawls through the drop ceiling. Now he thinks he's going towards the hallway, he hopes so, and right when he thinks he's above the hallway, he lifts the tile open, but he falls right through it. Huh. There you are. Right there was his teacher and the vice principal. What on earth are you doing? The bathroom door was locked. So you climbed through the ceiling? I mean, I couldn't just stay in there, right? Well, you could have knocked or yelled for help. Also, the bathroom's not locked. Here's what happened. When he got in the bathroom, did his business, he was about to leave, and he tried opening the door, but it wasn't the bathroom door, it was the supply closet door in the bathroom. They looked very similar. But he panicked, didn't look around to see if the actual door is right there, so he climbed through the ceiling. You know what? Just come to my office. You're getting detention. And he got a detention for property damage and making terrible decisions. He's a grown man, afraid of frogs. He can't go fishing. He won't walk near a pond. If a nature documentary shows a frog, nope. If he sees a cartoon frog on a commercial, hey, turn this off. If he's at a pet store, he will not walk down the aisle where the frogs are. I'm not going down there. Don't make me go down there. And nobody understands it. One night, he's chilling with a friend, and his friend finally asks him, hey, bro, I always meant to ask you, what's your deal with frogs? He laughs it off at first, then he goes quiet. He says it started when he was 8 years old. It was summer. He was at the pond behind his grandma's house. Him and his cousin were messing around near the water. When his cousin scoops something up, whoa, it was a frog. He then throws it at him. Catch! Before he could react, that frog hits him right in the chest. Splat! And it's stuck there, clinging to his shirt. He slowly looks down and he sees the frog staring right up at him. To this day, he swears that the frog blinked once and said this, "You would look better in a top hat." He freaked out. He shoved that frog off his shirt and he ran home. So yeah, that's what happened. That's so dumb. Obviously his buddy didn't believe him, but he knows what he saw and he knows what he heard. And to this day he is still terrified of frogs. That's nuts. Everybody liked this one guy. Yo, it's like everybody. He was popular, funny, and he was always the center of every single party. So one night, there's this big party at somebody's house, and everybody's there. It's packed, there's music going, people chilling. Yo, this is a killer party, Johnny. Hey, thanks, man. I'm just honored that you're here. But you see, not everybody liked that kid. I hated him. So the kid that did not like him was talking to his friend. I just don't like the guy. Yeah, I don't like him that much anymore either. Dude, I'm in a group chat with him, and look what he's been saying. You see, he gets shown this group chat, and the popular kid is in this group chat talking trash about everybody, even his friends, even the girls he's currently hanging out with at the party. Hey, screenshot these and send me them. Okay, don't say it was me. So he gets the screenshot, and then he plugs his phone into the HDMI port of the TVs in the living room of this party, and he pulls up all the screenshots. He turns off the music. Everybody, look! And he has these screenshots of all the horrible stuff he said just right there on the TV. Wait, what? No, that's not me. People are mad. No, guys, they're jokes. I'm just joking in these. But it's too late. He had fallen from grace and he was shoved out of that party really quick. The next day he was at school. He went from popular to loser really quick. Hey, that's karma. So one day in the middle of third period, this one high school student stood up, didn't say a word, didn't pack up any of his stuff. He just got up and walked out. The teacher was stunned for a second before yelling, where do you think you're going? And without breaking stride, the kid just said, I've learned enough. The teacher was mad, everyone laughed, but they all assumed he would be back the next day. Except he wasn't. Not the next day, not the next week. But here's the crazy part. It's like the school almost let it happen. People were constantly asking, is he suspended? Did he get expelled? Did he transfer? Nobody had an answer. Well, one day, this concerned student went to the office to ask for himself. Hey, do you have any idea where Johnny's been? Johnny Stevenson? The secretary said, well, it says here that he's still enrolled in the school, so maybe you just missed him. He was still enrolled, but nobody's seen him. He didn't drop out. He was still a student, but nobody had seen him for months. Then at the end of the year, something even weirder happened. It was graduation day. The principal was reading names, and suddenly they read his name. Johnny Stevenson! Everybody froze. People were stunned. There was a long, awkward silence. Then, at the back of the room, Johnny stood up, wearing a full cap and gown. He walked down the aisle, shook the principal's hand, took his diploma, and walked out. And still, nobody knows where Johnny went all that time. Craziest things kids did in school. At one middle school, there was a student who would later be known as Cheeseburger Kid, and here is why. One day, right before lunch, he left the school. He walked around the school and found an area of the building that would be easy to climb. Perfect. He then scaled the building and got on the roof. Now, the cafeteria at this school had skylights, windows that looked to the sky. Once he was on the roof, he made his way over to one of the skylights above the cafeteria. He pulled a brick out of his backpack and then he jumped down. The cafeteria was selling cheeseburgers, and his plan was to steal all of them and escape. Hey, somebody stop that kid! He even punched a lunch lady. You stop right now! You stop right now! Finally, the police show up and grabbed him. He bit the police officer's hand, and then he went to juvie, never to be heard of again. The dumbest rules parents had their kids follow. When this girl was in high school, her parents had this very strict rule. Alright, love you guys, I'm going to my friend's house. Okay, don't forget the rules. I won't. The rule was this. She had a curfew every night, and for every minute she was late after curfew, she would be grounded for a week. So if she was 2 minutes late coming home, she'd be grounded for 2 weeks. Well, one day she was stuck behind a train. Come on, come on, come on. It was one of those long trains. You know what I'm talking about. Well, it was passing for 10 minutes, causing her to be 10 minutes late, Marissa. Do you know what that means? You were 10 minutes. Honey, please, I got this. No. 10 minutes late is what? 10 weeks. Excuse me? 10 weeks. 10 weeks, very good. You're grounded for 10 weeks, now get to your room. Oh, God, I hate them so much. Stupid rule. What the heck? What's a pineapple doing in here? Okay, so what's going on with school lunches these days? A high schooler took pictures of their school lunches and put it on Reddit, and most of them look absolutely disgusting. Like one day, all they served was a plate of nachos. Here's a nasty looking chicken patty with like 4 fries. The thing still looks frozen. Is this cheese curds and chips? Who's in charge of the lunch? Oh, here's another chicken patty with some different fries. This one looks even worse. All right, the next one's a hot dog, and this is absolutely abysmal. What in God's name is that? This one's I couldn't even tell you. This one day, they got a Hot Pocket and broccoli. That's the laziest meal I've ever seen. And this last one looks like a beef sandwich and fries. This one actually doesn't look too bad, but it's kind of sus. Is this a problem everywhere? Like, are your lunches good? Or what's going on? Tell me. This kid's an absolute genius. So one of my followers is running a business in his school right now, and he's been running it for about 1.5 years. So this dude told me he carries around a giant backpack and he sells stuff out of it. And there's actually a teacher at a school who helps him sell the big stuff. This guy sent me some pictures of his product. You see here, he's got like soda, candy, there's Prime, there's Oreos. This guy goes all out. Look at this stuff. And for the best part, he sent me pictures of the profit he's made. Look at this wad of cash. Just bank rolling in every single day. I mean, come on, obviously business is absolutely booming. He told me in total, so far, he's made over $3,000 and he has no plans to stop. Gotta respect the hustle. Would you run a business at your school? Okay, this would freak me out. So a family was camping in Australia, and they were sitting around the fire eating some food, when suddenly their campsite was invaded by robber crabs, or otherwise known as coconut crabs. This whole situation is super creepy, but what's even weirder is how they don't seem to care at all. This dude's eating, this dude's just scrolling on his phone. This girl seems to be enjoying herself. Australians are built different, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so I have the bulldog ramen, but this time it's 2 times spicy. So I thought this one was spicy, but this one looks crazy.
Now we're gonna boil some water. Now that it's boiling, we put this into the boiling for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes, now we drain the water. Now it says to add the 2 times spicy hot sauce. Then you add, last step is the pepper flakes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I think if you like spicy stuff, this is gonna be awesome for you. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it, so I'm gonna take one bite. Let's see. Delicious, but very, very spicy.
This guy and his buddy were called to do a plumbing job at an old lady's house. She called them because she was hearing some weird noises coming from some pipes in her attic. Oh my god, thank you so much for showing up. I keep hearing noises up there. I have no idea what it is. Don't even worry. Yeah, no, we'll head up there right now and see what's going on. Yeah, don't worry. We got this. And there was nothing wrong. Just old pipes. Yeah, man, looks like everything's fine up here, dude. Probably just some old pipes. I have an idea. Watch this. What did you do? He then walked right downstairs and told this old lady, yeah, ma'am, it's a pretty messed up situation up there. One of the pipes was on the verge of bursting and it just burst. It's gonna be a pretty big job, maybe around $5,000 to fix. Oh, well, I guess I can ask my son for some money. I think I'll be able to pay for it. When can you fix it? Today. I can fix it today. He couldn't believe that his buddy did that. He felt a lot of guilt for not telling that lady the truth. And when he eventually did turn his friend into the company they worked for, too much time had passed. She already paid, the pipe was fixed, and there was no way to prove what he did. Have you ever wondered how a middle school science lesson could save an entire building from exploding? This 8th grader named John was sitting in chemistry class learning about natural gas. His teacher explained that rotten egg smell isn't actually natural. They add a chemical called mercaptan, so people can detect leaks. Your nose can literally smell it at 1 part per billion. Regardless, John thought this was cool. Hey, that's cool. Well, the very next day, during a science lab in a different science class, he noticed a very faint smell of rotten eggs. He raised his hand and said, Mr. Stevens, I think there might be a gas leak. Well, the teacher brushed it off and said, John, that's probably from a different experiment or you're making things up. No, I'm serious. It smells exactly like what Mr. Zern taught us yesterday. But the teacher told him just to sit down and stop disrupting class, please. So John did something bold. He walked straight to the office and he told the principal, there's a gas leak in the lab. I'm pretty positive. The principal took him very seriously and he pulled the fire alarm himself and evacuated the entire school. Turns out there was a massive gas leak in the science building. The fire department said that if anybody lit a burner, which they were going to, the whole science wing could have exploded. John literally saved the school because he remembered a lesson from the day before. And yeah, that teacher definitely apologized to him. Big time. That's insane. Here's what happens when you're a frickin' Karen. This lady's about to board a flight. She storms up to the counter and is waving her phone in the agent's face. Hi, yeah, I paid for priority and that better mean something good. Well, the desk agent said, ma'am, yes, this is economy plus, so you'll be boarding in group 2. Just a few minutes, okay? Now, boarding hadn't even begun yet, but this lady loses it. I'm pretty sure I paid for a better plane ticket. You know what? I have so many followers, I'm gonna ruin you for this. This airline sucks. That's fine. Okay, I don't care. Just step back. Now, here's the thing. She threatens that she's gonna make a terrible video about the airline to ruin their reputation or to get this person fired, but no one cared. The thing is, that desk agent was actually gonna upgrade somebody to first class because there was one first class seat open. But now, it definitely wasn't gonna be her. Oh, sir. Oh, yeah. What boarding group are you? Now, he's saying this loud enough for the lady to hear. Group 6. Well, it's your lucky day. I'm upgrading you to first class. And ma'am, I'm downgrading you to group 6. Now, this entire time, a bunch of other passengers were watching this thing go down. They were invested, and they cheered. Stop clapping! Screw you! And she threw a fit, and she was thrown out of the airport. Good.
তুমি কিন্তু আমার একটা ভিডিও কলও করো না সোনিয়া অ্যাঞ্জেল সোনিয়া
তুমি কি শুরু করছো
আরে আমি করলামটা কি আমি যেখানে বসে আছি
এই আমার ফোন দাও দাও কইতাছি
আরুম না
কি ছাড় কইতাছে আমার ফোন দিব না আমি।
এইটা আমগো খানদানি রীতি, তুই বুঝছ না?
আব্বা গতকালকে রাত্রে বেলা এমন সেটিং দিছি।
আব্বা ফোন দিয়ে কি করেন আপনি?
এই কথা কই গান শুনি এই আর কি।
বাস এই দুইটা কামের জন্য
হায় হায় করছে কি আমার খানদানির ইজ্জতের ফালুদা খেয়ালাইছে।
তোবা তোবা কোস কি এত বড় বদ জামাই।
হারামজাদা আমার মা।
তুমি বাসে আসার পর থেকে আমাকে বাসে শান্তি সব চলে লাগেছে।
আয় হায় খাইছে করছোটা কি তুমি?
তুমি একটা ভিডিও কল করে পাঠাও প্লিজ প্লিজ। কবে আমগো দেখা
কোচিনটা কি এটা আব্বার লগে এমন চিপা মাইটা দিয়েছেন? কেমন খানদান বউ?
তারপর তো ভয় কাচে মুচু খায়া গেছে গা, তারপর আবার দুর্নাম করতে হইব।
এই তোর কি তোর দামি ফোন?
আইসা বাপ জান রাইতে ঠিকঠাক মতো ঘুমাইছে তো নাকি বাসায় গিয়া আব্বাজান রে কইবেন?
কি করছো যেটা তুই? বাজার রে বাজার যাও চইছে আজকাই করছে।
এই খবরদার ভদ্র মহিলা আমার ফোন দাও নইলে কিন্তু আজকে খুন খারাপ।
এটা রাখ, এই জিলাপি কিনা রইছে তোর।
সপ্তে বাসর রাইতে রাজা বাদশা সাইজা বাসর ঘরে আমদাইছে।
এর লাগা চুপ আছিলাম, কিন্তু অহনা চুপ থাকান যাইব না।
কিরে সাজান?
আমরা মানি না, আমগো খানদানে আমরা এক গ্লাস পানি পর্যন্ত ডাইলা না খাই।
আমাগো খানদানে আছে।
এই ভাবি একটা ফালতু খানদান থেকে আইছে, এই সব খানদানের আমি ধারদারি না।
চলো না আমরা বাড়িতে ফিরে যাই।
তুমি কি পাগল হয়ে গেছো নি? এইটাই আমার বাড়ি এখনতে।
চৌধুরী সাহেবের সাথে আমি কি কথা কইছি? তুমি কোনো কথাই কই নাই কা। সাজান তোমারে কইলো এত
দিচ্ছেন? হ্যাঁ দিচ্ছেন না? এলা বাইরন, আমার বাড়িতে বাইরন।
একবারে হাসা করছেন আব্বাজান। আপনার পোলার এই বাড়ি পোলাটা ওই বিতলামি করলে আমি তোরা ঘাড়াই, কিন্তু ভাবলাম আপনাকে একমাত্র পোলা ঘাড়াইলে আবার দিলে চোট পাই।
দিতাছো তুমি?
শোনো, তোমাগো খানদানে যেমন কিছু নিয়ম আছে আমাগো খানদানেও আছে।
এইসব ফাত্রা নিয়ম কেউ যেন জানবার না পারে, মনে থাকবো তো? তোর যে নতুন ভাবি
হয়ে যাইবো।
যা মন চায় তাই করো, এই ফোন আমি দিব না। কার লগে কথা কইতাছো? হ্যাঁ
আমার ফোন দাও।
আরে বাপরে বাপ, কইতেছো কি তুমি? আমার খানদানি পোশাক আমি খুলে ফেলামু, তুমি কি আমার অর্ডার করতেছো?
শিউলিমালা যা কয় তাই অর্ডার।
শেষ আমি দেইকা লমু কিন্তু কয়ে দিলাম।
আম্মা
ওই কি ভাবতেছো? ভাবাভাবি বাদ দাও কইলাম। অহনি পোশাক চেঞ্জ করে আসো, নাহলে তোমার সারা রাত গা চুলকাই। আমি শাহজাহানের আব্বা আম্মার দিলে চোট পচাইছি, এর প্রতিশোধ নিতে গিয়ে শাহজাহান তোমাকে মধ্যে।
বইয়ের হাতে মার খাওয়া চলে তাই কিছু কই নাই কা।
আমাগো খানদানে জামাই মারনের নিয়ম নাই কা।
তুই আমার এখান থেকে যাবি না মানে কি? অক্ষণ তুই বাইরবি।
আব্বা
আমি চাইনি তোমার মন খারাপ হোক।
এইটা এখন আমাকে বিশ্বাস করতে হবে। তোমার ভাইয়ের যে একটা বন্ধু আছে না, অয়ন ভাই, উনি অনেক চালাক আছে, অনেক স্মার্ট। এই আপু আপু আপু, শুনো শুনো শুনো, তুমি রাগ করলা?
তুমি যদি একটু পরো।
আপনাকে ঈদের শুভেচ্ছা।
ধন্যবাদ।
টোপো দাঁড়া।
মেয়েটা দেখছিস?
কোন মেয়েটা?
তোদের বাসার দোতলায় আসছে।
মা, মোম দিয়ে যাও না। আরে আসতেছি রে বাবা। আপনার গান শুনে ছাদে আসলাম। আপনি গিটার বাজান বল।
কি দিল এটা? 100 টাকা? আমি তো চাইছিলাম। তোর মন খারাপ এটা তুই কি আসার আগেই জানতুই না আসার পর জানছোস?
সাদা ওড়না, কপালে ছোট্ট একটা টিপ, রোদের আলো।
এদিকে আয়, তুই আয়। আরে
আজ বেলাতে তোমার সুরে সুরে।
এই বিকেলে মাঠে আসবি তো? ফয়সাল আসছিল, ঈদের পরে কক্সবাজার যাওয়ার প্ল্যান করতেছে।